Saturday. We're going to be doing MLB and the NBA, but we have a sweat here. So we're going to pull this up. And we're going to pull this up and I'll show you what we got going here. And so as you can see, hopefully, we have a sweat in the EPL here, Bobby.
Look at this.
Well, and this is what we need. It's like almost impossible. So we, oh, there they come. Oh my God, did somebody score? Yeah. So we got to fend. There's no chance. We got to fend off this guy who's got like 4 guys from this same team who they're all putting all the pressure on. There's really no way this can hold. But it's definitely fun to watch. Oh, there it is.
That game, nothing else happens in that game for whatever, for 5 minutes, right?
It's just impossible.
I mean, like what you're only getting. Oh, so you're getting. Oh, yeah. I see what you're saying.
I've got to basically have to play keep away. Like they can't even like touch the ball. It's a hard show. But hey, whatever. Maybe we can.
It's going to be a solid score anyway.
Well, I don't even know. I don't even know if these guys are going to all pass me. I just don't know how to sweat soccer all that well.
It's tough.
Yeah.
Depends on the scoring too. I don't know that one that well.
But yeah, so we certainly can't have anybody score. But it's not even about the scoring because you get points for all these crosses and all this stuff, and the other team is basically just playing just full like back defense, basically allowing them to do whatever they want. So they're going to get all the crosses and all the stuff they want. So I don't know exactly what's a reasonable thing for me to root for. Oh, there it is. Right. They scored. Okay, there it is. That was quick. But wait, they might not give it to them. Oh, offsides. Thank you.
Yeah, I know they're scoring at the end of games, but it's totally possible for them not to score, right?
Oh, it's possible for them not to. No. It's not a question of scoring a goal.
Yeah, it's all the other things.
It's all the other stuff. It's like rooting for a team to get like no rebounds for the next like 5 minutes. It's like
right.
It's just kind of tough because the way the game is structured right now, like the other team is like they're a huge underdog, the team that's ahead. So they're like kind of playing scared, and they're just going to just kind of shell up, I think. So but the more keep away we can play, the better. And then here's the thing about soccer: that's the thing. You don't exactly know how much time there is left.
Right.
I mean, there's at least 3 minutes, but then there's I don't even know how much extra time there is. The amount of extra time that's available is in direct inverse correlation to how many points you know what I mean, to how little you need them to score. So, it'll go to 90 minutes. They'll say, well, they have 14 minutes of extended time. Like crap, But if you need it, they'll be saying, okay, 2 minutes of extended time. So
yeah.
So we'll sweat this in the for the next couple.
Yeah, can I take my very strong victory lap for my yesterday? My bet that I made, the parlay that hit.
Oh, the Blue Jays.
The Blue Jays to win. The Blue Jays to score 6 runs, and Barrios to get the win.
Oh, how about that? Well, what'd you get on the odds on that?
Because they're all overlapping, it was only 6-1. But that's pretty good, you know what I mean? For one baseball game, for basically you're betting on the same thing in almost all your bets. Yeah, no,
there's the goal.
Oh, shoot.
Okay. But who got it? Oh, Danjuma. I don't think anybody has him. Wait a minute. It's possible. Oh, I think he came in for I think that was a sub that came in. So let's see who gets the assist, though. One of them's got to get the assist. Let's just see. I don't know exactly what happened. When I get out of first, then we'll take this down. But let's just see who gets credit for it. Oh, somebody say he's offsides? No appeal. Let's see. But Bongo Fiesta. Oh, by the way, how about the extreme revenge from the Mets from 1973, huh?
I know. I had to actually mention the thing that I got right first because I had otherwise the most miserable baseball slate. I have a way of finishing within a quarter of a point of cashing in that big one every night, but not quite making it, which, by the way, maybe if we were doing that other betting thing that we talked about, that would be a fun little bet. You know what I mean? How often can Bobby be within a half a point of cashing the 777?
And home run out of the aforementioned Patrick Wisdom?
Yeah, I felt like you should have, after I looked at everything, I felt like you should have won everything.
No, because what I did at the end, I played I played Luis Garcia.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and that was not good. So who got credit for this goal? It looks like nobody got an assist. Okay. So now maybe the other team will be a little more aggressive. Let's just see what happens here. I don't know, Scott. I don't even know that they give him full credits for the goal yet. I don't even know how it works. Let's just see. All right. So first of all, the first goal is to find out how much time there is left. Oh, this is not good. So they're giving a corner to them. Okay, 6 minutes of extra time.
Yes.
Okay. Well, so they put it all 0. They're going to put 90 plus 6 in a second. So here's Perishic's going to get a cross right now. So that's going to be worth something. Yeah, so that's going to be worth something. Let's see if they catch me with that. It's a rough one.
Yep.
Let's see what you get. They only get 1 point for a cross? We'll take that. Okay. Look at this. I'm playing all this, and I don't even know what the scoring system is. How good am I? Let's see. Okay, so we need this red team, and I have them on. They're on actually USA Network. And the thing is, please, nobody screw this for me. I hate this because DraftKings is always like a couple of minutes ahead of the of reality, which I hate, by the way.
Sometimes they are.
Yeah, it's soccer. Soccer they are all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird.
So far, so good. So far, so good. And you just gotta just wait. Just gotta sit here and eat it. You guys just watch the. Is that gonna be another corner? I think another corner. Oh, free kick. All right, that's good. Just kick it all the way down. Just kick it like into tomorrow.
People are firing in. It's good to see everybody here. Yeah, let's keep it going. I mean, obviously, we really want you.
No, you feel free. Feel free. Start talking about baseball. Start talking about baseball and NBA. No, it's not over.
Oh, it looks. Oh, because they're in the +1.
Yeah. No, dude, it's just getting started. It's just getting started.
We only added 1 minute of extra play.
No, 6.
Oh, I've seen
this game had 90 plus 1 has occurred so far.
Right. So you're anti-sweating here.
I need 4 more minutes of nothing. 4 more minutes. I need the red. I need all to be on the red side of the field. But meanwhile, the white team is just really just obviously the better team. So we have to. That's why everybody has all these guys stacked at 100% ownership, and I have 0. So let's see what happens.
Yeah. Well, while you go through that, I'm just going to real quick so I can answer some people's things. Guys, just wanting to point out that it is hard for me on the weekends. I'm still going to try to do whatever I can, especially while NBA games are going on. But I can't promise every weekend day. Rody and Goldie usually can cover the baseball part.
Oh, no, wait. They gave him another cross. So we're 1 point ahead. Uh-oh. This is bad.
Yeah, well, I want to point out something, BBF. Like, yes, those are the pitchers. And if you have better suggestions, I suggest you weigh in on them. Because it is not a pitching slate where anyone is projected for anything really. So like it goes back to the why spend money, take the guys with the leash in the price range. And to me, those are Lugo and Mats. But at the same time, like, am I telling you that it's wrong to play? No, I mean, Tyler Mahle actually will have some ownership against the Yankees, but he's got a ceiling. Carrasco has a ceiling, even though he also has a huge downside, but he's going to be popular too. Freddie Peralta obviously has a ceiling, but I don't know how much they're going to let him pitch. Michael Kopech, I think, is like the sneaky play on the slate to me.
Well, let me tell you, by the way, before I pulled up these projections, I was suspicious about the projections when I first came up, because when I went last, I always go the night before and just see what I think I would want to play. And the 2 guys that I have that I would want to play just without knowing projections or anything like this, one was Carrasco, And the other was a guy who's like showing up as like the 40th best pitcher. Why are we not playing DeSclafani against, I think, Detroit?
Yeah, so that's the interesting one because I think, I mean, he's had the two complete outlier type of performances for him. I mean, remember, he was supposed to be the opener in that game for Manaea. Manaea was owned. Nobody played him because he was the opener.
Okay, wait. So this could be good. Oh no, he got me. Crap. All right, the guy got me.
Okay.
And the other team scored. But I don't think that's why he got me. So okay, so we don't have to worry about this anymore. All right. So let's get into baseball. Oh well, that was fun.
Yeah, and to address I'm just sorry. I'm rooting for you, but I'm trying to keep up with the people just about some of this stuff in the Discord. Kopech, yes, it could be a negative regression candidate because people think he's not as good as he was. I actually think that you could on this kind of a slate that shouldn't be a factor because he's low owned at 7,300, which we're playing two guys we would not have even considered 2 weeks ago, ahead of him. Well, I guess Steven Matz we would have. Scott. What you want is exactly what I want to do, and we want to start having a weekly thing where we can get together and do a roundtable, just sort of general discussion, go through builds that were and weren't successful, talk about your builds, and talk about what we would change. I think that's a really good idea. That's how I did my coaching sessions back when I worked for Roto Grinders. And it worked really well. So I think we should have a roundtable discussion, and I would love for you to be on it because you've been a very active part of our community, and I think it'd be really great. And anybody else is interested, please DM me, and we will set it up. We will have something set up on the site for it where you can do signups, but we haven't gotten there yet. We're probably a couple weeks away from some of the changes we need to make.
Let me ask you about a guy, Bobby, because now that I'm focused on baseball for a second, let me tell you this ownership doesn't seem to make sense to me. The price doesn't make sense to me. Why is Zach Plesac not higher owned?
That game might not. He might not even get the weather. I mean, the weather's bad.
Oh, let me look at that. I didn't see that.
It's definitely the worst weather, but it doesn't mean that it's done. I mean, yeah. You could play him like he's. It's not like he's a good pitcher. I would rather avoid it for the weather right now, and I don't like it that much anyway. Guys, play DeSclafani. I have no issue with it, especially the projected ownership. I don't buy the projected ownership for what it's worth. I think it's going to be higher than it's being projected. Thanks for the stuff on Barrios, but my real best call was on Clevenger, who was even better than Barrios.
Clevenger sucked.
What are you talking about?
He couldn't find the play. He was lucky to freaking survive that game.
He was lucky to survive it. He had one hard hit ball the entire game.
No, absolutely not.
I couldn't disagree with you more. Absolutely not right. He got nothing to get lucky out of anything. Nobody made a play. Okay. And he had one hard hit ball. Everything else was soft contact and strikeouts. How can you say Clevenger sucked? He gave no runs in 6 innings.
Okay, it doesn't matter how many runs he gave up. I didn't think it looked good at all. But okay.
Well, because you just, I don't like the walks that you have to embrace when you play guys like that. But that's right. It's the guy still can't hit him. I'll take the 6 innings, 1 hit every time.
So Atlanta, Kansas City is probably. I'm just looking at the weather now. Finally.
Oh, thanks, K9. K9 likes the coaching side of things. Like we did this we did it with K9. We've done it with I've done it with K9. I've done it with Adam Perry. I've done it with a number of our guys in there. Brandon, that would be awesome if we could get you involved in the round table. That would make it even better because you're appealing to a very different demographic than what I can appeal to. The Cheats does, but I can't really. We would love that, man. So let's talk about that. That'd be really fun. I am so with the Bryce Elder thing today about that question. This is a really hard baseball slate. Like the weather in that one is really risky. It is good pitching weather for what it's worth. So I actually think if you gave me a full go ahead, if I knew they were going to be clear, I would definitely have some interest in Elder. But I feel like I say that about a lot of pitchers today, and we don't have the for sure. You're gonna not get a pop up in the 4th inning, especially out there because it looks pretty up and down. So maybe we get some information. I do, even though I got you guys to stay with us in general, I do think this is the kind of day where getting some weather info might be helpful, and you can use the free RG thing. I know it's not our thing, but we're probably not going to have a weather thing. This is the early season baseball where you have to try to figure it out and decide what kind of risk you want to embrace. I don't think that I don't care too much about the ownership at pitching. So when we say, oh, this guy's chalky or this guy's chalky, sure, that matters some. The hitters I'm using, the teams that I'm stacking right now, are currently projected to be very low owned for some reason. The Blue Jays and Toronto. I know it's a bullpen game on the Tampa side. They open the roof up. You've got a 10 total. To me, this seems like the game you want to attack. So that's what I'm going to do.
I'm looking right now, and fortunately or unfortunately, the team that rates the best for me is the rain game. I mean, not the rain game, is Cleveland.
Not good enough for me to just play it though.
And that's the problem, is that I wouldn't. You know me, I'm very I'm very sketchy with the weather. I don't give them a break. You know, if it's like if it's even yellow, I'll just fade it. By the way, I did get second in this tournament. It looks like. Oh, dude, am I allowed to complain that I lost by less than half a point? Probably not. Okay. So Cleveland, but then when I'm looking, I think that my next favorite, if I were just going to identify a hand build, it's between, for me, Toronto and Baltimore, I think. I think those would be the two. Yeah, and boy, oh boy, the Yankees, and maybe Tampa. Those would be my three. So Tampa, Toronto, and Baltimore would be my, the ones that I would just identify. You mentioned Toronto just now.
Yeah, Toronto and Tampa.
Okay.
That's probably what I'm doing today, and I think that the stack merges fairly nicely. Unfortunately, it means you can only play one of Paredes and Chapman, because I really like both of those guys today. But that's other than that, I like Franco a little better than I like Bichette today, for example. But both are totally fine. But otherwise, I'm not really running into many issues with the position crossover, because you can sort of build both these stacks either way, and you've got double catchers available at different prices for Toronto. Just there's plenty of ways to do it that you can get even more off the board. I'm a little surprised this game isn't getting more ownership, to be honest with you. Yeah. Anyway,
I think the Cleveland game is going to be really interesting. What happens with this?
Yeah, is the ownership going to hold? My guess is no.
No, Washington has that reputation.
Yeah, I won't even mess with it, even if it was lower ownership. And the thing is, while it's a good spot, it's not like this is the only game on the slate. It is Chad Kuhl, and it's a guy we want to pick on in general. But it's not I don't know. He doesn't pitch for the Rockies anymore. It's not in Colorado, I guess. I guess that's the best thing I can say about Chad Kuhl.
But you know what? He'll always go down in history as the guy that had the big ceiling performance of the century last year
against the Dodgers. Yeah,
that
was crazy. They had an 8.5 projected total or whatever the hell. And
that's right. Yeah.
But yeah, we don't have a Tampa lineup yet either, at least that I see. Maybe it's updated in the last few minutes, but I don't think so. I'm gonna double check. No, I don't have one yet. And just remember that Tampa's got 4 guys that are subject to be pulled, basically, unless they play a lefty to start the game. All the righties are in danger because Brandon Lau and Luke Raley will play. I still like Harold Ramirez for the power upside if I'm going to get some exposure to them. But who else is showing up for you today? So you said you mentioned Cleveland before.
Plesac, Lugo, Carrasco, Matz, DeSclafani.
Mm-hmm.
I got a bunch of pitchers, but those are and some Elder. But that's a weather thing. I'm gonna you should probably X out the Atlanta Kansas City game, right?
I'm not Xing. I mean, I'm not going to play it, but I don't think that if I was playing multiple lineups that I wouldn't play, that I would cross it off.
Okay.
I mean, because it just doesn't look like the odds are it's. And in Atlanta, it's high. Well, I guess I don't know. I mean, depends on your level of being willing to deal with it. So maybe you have to. It's just tough. I mean, it's hard. It feels wrong to say to cross off an Atlanta team ever, and Bryce Elder, that's the problem. But maybe it is the right thing to do. Who else? I'm trying to figure out even another stack that I kind of want to play. One thing is, I still think there's something to this Michael Kopech play, and I just mentioned it last night with Clevenger. like there are strikeouts in Baltimore's lineup, and I don't care. Like, I mean, you could say he sucked or whatever. He was the third best pitcher in the slate and significantly cheaper than all of them. There's no reason Baltimore's not going to, go out there and score 10 runs every day. Like, they're good. They're a good offense, but I don't think we should treat them like the freaking, that Dodgers of 2020 or something.
Well, the first thing also is that, I should have mentioned this before, is that Cleveland Washington game and also the Atlanta game, that those games aren't for 4 hours. So we do have we do have a little bit of room, to not have to decide what to do with Cleveland Washington so soon.
Right.
And there'll be, obviously some weather updates between now and then. So we kind of look at the beginning, right? So the 2 1:00 games, Minnesota, New York. From the pitching, I think from both sides, I didn't really get to either pitcher. I was thinking about taking a shot with the Yankees though, but not a priority. And then I'm just looking at that second game, the other game at 1 o'clock, the San Francisco Detroit. That is one that you might have to at least think about because if you want to play DeSclafani, for example.
Yeah, I hear you. If I have to play one other game or one other spot to attack today, I would really like to play Philadelphia and Cincinnati.
Ooh, that's cool.
And I don't think are we getting no ownership here? Is that right? Now there's some, but not that much. Like, first of all, I'm always going to be biased towards games in Cincinnati, especially when it's warm. And it looks good. Like, it looks like a good spot on both sides. Matt Strahm has like there's times where he looks very, very hard to hit. He also has a very short leash, and I could see this game the dream scenario. Let's say Matt Strahm goes up like 3 in 4 innings or 5 innings, but it's like 9-3 Philly. Like, the Reds are going to be able to turn things around. It's hard to get Philly because they're expensive. But I do think that that's a really good stack. I also think that the later the games are, without having the starting lineups, people get a little nervous. So I think that those 2 spots, Philly, Cincinnati, and I kind of like every day. Like, the Yankees proved it yesterday why a Yankee stack can be valuable even when they score 3 runs because you get 3 home runs. You know what I mean? And that sort of changes everything. So the Yankees become the perfect complementary stack because there are other teams that scored like 9 runs or 8 runs, and nobody scored 14 fantasy points. And they had 3 guys who at least hit home runs. And that was like the floor performance of what they could have had, considering they had 2 of them in the first two hitters. I think maybe the first 2 pitches. Are you hanging on there, Sheets? Is it almost over? It's weird when they don't show the PMR accurately, but I know.
Oh no! The soccer's over. It's just
nice. It was a good one. It just unfortunately squeaked out of the.
No, I'm telling you, the way it could have been one of those things where like 7 people passed me. So this is fine. Fine. I ran so hot for none of those guys. I mean, look what this guy did. Like this team, this Tottenham team had like all 4 of these guys were. I would never play them all together. Like that was one of those things. But now having to anti-sweat all these guys. Look at 60%, 35%, 35%, 40%, like all of them together. And I had to anti-sweat them all for the last like 7 minutes, So
right.
We're all going to get something, that's especially when the other team was ahead. It's kind of like, in the NBA when the team's down 10, that Lillard's going to be shooting, it's the same type of thing.
Right.
But no, I'm thrilled. I mean, and the fact is I was able to get, these low-owned lineups in. I used the combination of my Sheets and SaberSim to kind of help me with this. Psyched. Something's got to pay for whatever I come up with the 777 for baseball, right?
Yeah, right. Well, everybody's now turning on the NBA, so we can talk about that whenever you're.
Yeah, let's do it. I guess as I pull up my sheets for the NBA, I'll just like throw one thing out there. The guy that was showing up in my builds, which I'm not playing, is Isaac Okoro. He was showing up in like a whole bunch of my my SaberSim builds, but I just don't like playing guys like that. That's the best I could. So what I would do in a situation,
I think you got to scrap that kind of thinking for the playoffs, personally.
You think so? I would have. See, talk to me about that because I would have thought the opposite. I would have thought that guys like that gets even less usage in the playoffs.
Well, the usage doesn't matter. It's just about being on the court. He might like he legitimately could, instead of playing 26 minutes in the game, he could end up playing 40 minutes. I mean, he really could. Yes, they may use Levert for that. Like, they don't. Levert is one of the worst. They don't have a defensive option behind him on the bench. And there's a lot of guys he could guard Brunson, he can guard Barrett, he can't guard Randall, but he between Brunson, Grimes, Hart, and Barrett on the court, I could just see him being out there more minutes.
So maybe I'll revisit that idea then. Okay.
And you don't have that many guys who are sure to play minutes, and he doesn't need to do much for you. You should absolutely be willing to embrace the 3,200 guys if you can get you the bigger guys.
First point. Okay. If you guys haven't living under a rock, whatever, look at the way the slate is designed. Okay. It's awesome. You know what I mean? Like, if you have nothing else to do, you know what I mean? I'm actually going to the city. I'm going to miss the second half of the Knick game. But nonetheless, I mean, you get a chance to look at how everything's going. You get a chance to swap. You get a chance to do whatever. So, I mean, all else being equal, which it isn't, okay, you'd want to play later games, okay, if all else was equal. And again, don't be embarrassed or whatever to continue to swap, depending on how things are going, if you're around to do that.
And this is the kind of, like you mentioned, this is exactly what you should be doing on these types of splits. That is the way to play when they have the staggered between Christmas and the playoffs. That's the way you want to play the weekend slates and the weekend playoffs and the Christmas slates.
Now, with that said, kind of want to play Embiid.
I'm playing him. There's not a question. He'll be in all my lineups. Okay. I don't care what I have to scrape down to. The thing that worries me the most is a blowout, honestly. But I like Embiid and I like a run back. And I don't think you need to save and wait, because we're not going to hear player news information as much in the first round right here. None of these teams have played recently except for Atlanta. So going through, I guess we kind of maybe should go game through game here, Sheets. I think that's probably
let's do it.
So yeah, I'll just go real quick on the first one. I like the Dinwiddie or Royce O'Neal with Embiid on the other side. I have no issue if you want to use Harden instead of Embiid. I happen to think Harden's banged up. What it means, he can still probably get all that stuff, but both he and Embiid look like, I expect both of them to at least 5x, and I think one of them 6 or 7x. It's like, I really believe that. It's the playoff game if the game's close. So I love the idea of Embiid, and I don't mind if you wanted to mix in a little Melton, but for me, it's Embiid, Royce O'Neal, and Dinwiddie. And Royce O'Neal is just a nice sort of plug-in fitting piece. Noting that Brooklyn has been good against bigs this year, but I don't care. I'm still playing.
Here's another one that I was getting all this. What about I like Dinwiddie too. You like Michael Bridges at all?
Yeah, it's a lot to pay, and we'll get into other guys I'd rather spend for. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, if I'm going to spend, and that's why he's going to be low owned, so it looks tempting. But then you try and figure out an actual build with him and Embiid, and good luck if you want to lay off the other guys. So then moving along, you have the Atlanta, Boston. I actually have interest in a various slew of guys for tournaments for Atlanta, but realistically, probably not going to get to a lot of them. I think John Collins. I'm not sure. Sadiq Bey could have the hot run, but I do think Jalen Johnson, the fact that they, in the must-win game or whatever, that he got some run and he's 3,900. He's just a guy who I'm looking at for potential value. That's probably a worse thing than Okoro, but he at least has he can put up a lot in no time, and there's an outside chance to stay on. It's just a lot of bodies for Atlanta, so I'd rather try to avoid it. He was in my first build, but I'm probably going to get off of that. You have this ownership in the Boston on the Boston side, which I totally understand. I have no issue with Smart, Horford. I like, but I think the ownership might keep me off of them. And then I really like. I mean, Derek White is the chalk, but I'm going to play that chalk. 5,500 is too cheap for him, and I think that that's a really good play. And I think if you want to get creative, the play is Brogdon. I am not as high on Tatum and Brown, even though it's a good spot for them. And if I had to pick one, I think I would pick Tatum, but it'd be very close between those two for me.
I'm getting extremely little from the Atlanta side, if anything. And I guess that means they're all going to be low owned. So if you feel like it, I mean,
if you like it, the great play is like, what if they get down big, which seems very likely in this game? You might get the Bogdanovich sort of takeover time.
That's kind of a cool play.
So he's interesting, and they have a lot of guys like that. The John Collins, Bogdanovich, Okongwu, all of these guys have that same thing. But Bogdanovich can take over the offense for off the bench if it's not working with the other guys, and he can play with one of Trey so he'll play like all the minutes that one of Trey or DeJounte are out, and he'll play some with both of them. And sometimes he might be the featured guy of all those guys. So you're getting some chance at 5,300 to get like 40, which I think is
you know what? I really like that. I think that could be fun.
Yeah. And by the way, probably a little bit of blowout run for him. Maybe not a ton of it, but certainly he would get some because they don't have enough other guys who can handle the ball. So yeah, he actually probably would. A number of paths for him. So I kind of like that idea as well. Let's talk about your Knicks in Cleveland here. The Knicks play a million minutes, so that they're going to look like the worst projection-wise of every team, and they're also playing the best defense. So it's kind of tricky to play them, and I actually agree with all of those things. I think their projections are laughable. I think to not have Randall or Brunson projected at 40 fantasy points is laughable. I think it's ridiculous. I think they're being way under-projected, but I don't even think that still, it's not like I can get them in anyway. There's no reason they should be projected for 40 fantasy points, but it's going to be really, really hard to play them because their minutes are going to look like their season-long minutes. You know what I mean? They're not getting the extra playoff boost that everybody else gets because that's how they play the regular season, which is also why I like Cleveland in this series in 5. Sorry, Sheets, but we can hope for more. But that was my take is Cleveland in 5. I'm good with everybody on Cleveland. Mitchell's a little pricier than I'd want to pay, but it's Donovan Mitchell time. Maybe you wait for the third game at the Garden. Maybe he's down to 9K by then. That might be the time to unload him. Karis LeVert certainly has a ceiling, especially if Cleveland can get a big lead. But and Okoro's still questionable. I do think I'm going to have to use some Okoro because it is really hard to find value. And when you've got a guy who can play, who's going to play a minimum of 24 minutes, a ceiling of like 38 minutes. There just aren't that many guys that in that price range that you can consider.
Yeah. So for me, the only thing that's going to keep, for whatever reason, I have Embiid like projecting a 10% ownership. I can't imagine why. I guess
this is exactly why.
I guess it's hard to play him, but the thing is that Jared Allen is a smash play at 6,600. So that's my first comment is that I do like him. Mm-hmm. And my next favorites are Mobley and Garland and Mitchell and whatever. But I think Allen's a really, really good play.
Let's deep dive Allen a little bit more. Actually, let me take a quick look at something. Like I want to see specifically because they've had this matchup a number of times. I want to see how he's sort of fared. And we've got some time here, so this is trying to get through it. Because the problem is it never occurs to me in general to try and target the Knicks because they're really good against the center spot. They're number 1 in the league in terms of allowing fantasy points. But Jared Allen has had some good games against them, actually. Not like astronomical, but he doesn't ever really have an astronomical game against anybody. Unless something weird happens. Yeah, not enough for me to dig on entirely. I think he's fine. He didn't stand out to me as a smash play, but I think he's totally fine. I like Mobley better for what it's worth, but different price ranges, obviously. Darius Garland is going to be popular. Otherwise, I would be all over that 7,700 price. But
I tell you, man, I have this weird feeling as we transitioned in the Sacramento game too. Is that I have this feeling that you're supposed to play one of these low-owned spend-ups. You know what I mean? Like whether
go ahead.
Whether it be Embiid, Sabonis, Tatum, Curry, whatever. I just like in general, like in the playoffs, I just want these guys.
Right, which means you have to play a little bit of the Okoros,
Yeah, I guess so.
But I agree with you. I actually, especially as it relates to Embiid, but I don't know that I totally agree on that Curry because there's just so many other ways and there's so much offense.
Yeah. No, that's true.
I'm sided very high towards Klay Thompson here. Look, you could say all of his best performances of his career are basically in Sacramento, which is odd, including the 37-point quarter where he only took 11 dribbles. In that he broke the record for scoring in a quarter. So I'm in on that. I'm in on he's my favorite play on the Golden State side in that game. But I mean, I could literally make a case for everyone. I think Draymond will be the most popular. I think that you can make an argument for Looney to try to match up with, but I think that they'll try to put Draymond on Sabonis. And so the highest for me, and DiVincenzo sort of fits the mid-range small forward build kind of thing, but not for me so much. Super large field would be Jordan Poole. Maybe not even super large field, just not, I'm not getting them, but the guy who's showing up as crazy, and this is kind of where we're going to have figure something out. Kevin Huerter, I love. I've said forever I would take Kevin Huerter over Trae Young straight up because I believe he can help a team win a championship. He's a good guy to have on a good team. I think he's a big part of why they've gotten better, but they're so deep at guard. Kevin Huerter's projection being like that, like for him to be 70% owned or something just seems like a lot. Like, and it could easily turn into Malik Monk. Like if Malik Monk gets hot, that Kevin Huerter goes out the window. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Monk isn't going to be popular. And then they're going to keep Barnes on the court. So this is probably the spot I'm struggling with the most. And it's the game you need, you like in my head, you have to have someone from Sacramento. But all of these guys, I feel like are being owned beyond their risk. So maybe the answer is, for me anyway, I'm just going to play De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox will get the biggest boost. We usually get fourth quarter. Maybe we get fourth quarter Fox for all four quarters, and then it comes playoff time. This guy has been the best player in the fourth quarter for most of the season. His fantasy points, like literally, I think he averages over 20 something in the fourth quarter. Maybe we get him for 4 quarters for that type of thing. What do you think about that? De'Aaron Fox and Embiid as the spend-ups.
Yeah, but one thing I do agree with is I don't buy the Huerter at 1,000,000% ownership. You know what I mean? I mean, I buy it, but I don't want to buy it. I don't want it.
Right. That's not far from where I am as well. By the way, is everybody going to shoot like 10 under today? I mean, what's happening in this golf tournament? It's like completely off the rails.
Dude, I can't even look at that. Disaster.
I have one of my 6 of 6s was in the top 100 of the
Really?
Yeah, and I mean my worst guy is 6 under, which is Nick Taylor, and then everybody else is like, I mean they're all right there. It's Cantlay and Fowler and Fleetwood and all these guys, but somehow it's jumping backwards, but nothing's happening except for everybody else is making birdies on every hole.
Tell you what, I don't want. I got to make sure I don't want to play Huerter and Monk together.
I like the Time Lord play. I'm ready right now. Huerter and Monk, I wouldn't play together either. Yeah, I like that. I mean, I think there's a path, but I just don't think you need to mess with it. Why do you need to experience that path?
Yeah. I mean, it's not like it's a 2-game slate. It is a 4-game slate.
Yeah, right. There's plenty of options. I mean, I have Derek White as a better play than I have him as. What I like about Derek White is you get the double side of things. You know what I mean? You get they're not going to leave. I don't think they'd leave Brogdon out there for let's just say the game got really out of hand. I guess then you're getting none of them. But no, I just think Derek White they've made it pretty clear they're closing with him. They're opening with him. He's a big part of their team. It's a good matchup. I think that I'm just going to have to suck it up. So core for me is going to be a little different. White, the chalk I'm eating will be like a Coro probably. I'm even open to eating some Huerter chalk because I don't think other people are going to play Fox and Embiid together.
No.
The question is, can I also try to get in the Dinwiddie play? And I just don't think I'm going to be able to. But it feels a little. Oh, I had Jaden. I gotta clean up my lineup here. I had a bunch of placeholders. I have one other weird play for you. It's not going to happen. So no, you know what? I almost don't even want to mention it because I think it's a DNP CD. But every now and then they surprise you with Sacramento and they'll instead of letting Lyles play the backup 5, they'll throw in an Alex Len for 15 minutes. But he's another and we just know he can get there in a short period of time, which is why he was interesting. But I don't think he's actually as interesting as I initially may have thought.
I don't know if you're watching, but how many fantasy points did Did Drummond end up with last night?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Why was it a lot?
In like 7 minutes, he had like 14 rebounds or something like that. It was like something crazy. It's like I don't know. It was actually 14 minutes. I mean, it looked like he was just going bananas there. Yeah. See, what happens is if you don't play a Coro and you want to play in B, for example, then you end up with then you get all these DiVincenzos, Loonies. Like you're playing a bunch of these 5300s.
Yeah, and that's okay. Like the only thing is like Okoro is not like it's weird because he's not even projecting that great point per dollar, but there's just nobody else, you know?
Yeah.
And I would say that if you wanted to take a reach on somebody that's shown that's trending in the right direction, it would be Jalen Johnson, and you just would be gambling on him having a good stint of minutes. Even in the must win, he played 14. He was in the right around 20 before that. I think that you can assume that he could possibly get back to that. He scored more than 27 real life fantasy, or more than 27 fantasy points in his last 5 games, and basically all of those were not must wins, but they were in that same variety, you know. And I feel like he's not just gonna. They're not just gonna kick him to the curb. They like this kid. The problem is with Atlanta, you just have too many bodies to get through, so it's hard to know how to project him. But somehow he seems to always get there in the short minutes he plays. But maybe like that we talked about, Chiefs. Maybe the Bogdanovich. Maybe you play Bogdanovich and you play Herter as the cheapos. I think Robert Williams is reasonable as another one. I think Al Horford is very reasonable. But those guys are going to be very popular. Yeah, it's tricky.
It is kind of nasty, huh? I guess that's why the Okoro is a good play.
It's very.
I hope he plays after all that.
He's a legit questionable. He missed the end of the season, so it's not. This is not a fake questionable here. I'm also confused as like I have Royce O'Neal, but like I'm wondering if maybe that should be Dorian Finney-Smith. It's just hard to know with all these wings for Brooklyn, and I don't have a great feel. It is weird that they're projected within like what they're projected. Dorian Finney-Smith's barely projected at 0.1 fantasy points more, and yet Royce O'Neal is going to be 30% owned, and Dorian Finney-Smith is going to be 4% owned.
Right.
But that's because Day'Ron Sharpe is another one you can include in your mix because there is that's one I like actually. Sheets. I'm gonna lock up my centers in the first game. Because they run like just picture it, Claxton foul trouble. What do? Immediately they run Sharp minutes against, and they have to have bodies against Embiid. You can't just put no bodies out there. They
right.
can spread them out, but I can't imagine even in that situation, who are you putting on Embiid?
But you play both centers in this against. Yeah, I guess you can do it. It doesn't matter.
I'm also a very patient person, and sometimes he likes taking his time, and so I would kind of tell myself,
well, maybe
I have to just be patient. If we make it to the end of it,
some of these plays,
then he's the one.
I just want to. I guess this is why it's hard to play Embiid, I suppose.
Dinwiddie. I really like Clay tonight. I think I'm going to pick Clay over Dinwiddie. Can I really do that? Like that?
Play DiVincenzo. He's been doing well.
Yeah. I just like Clay's. You know what? I'm going to say F it and play Clay over Dinwiddie. Feels wrong. Clay, and then my flank guard is Derek White. And then still that forward range is I keep ending up with 4K at forward and I can't figure out what to do. I guess I might have to go to my guy Jalen Johnson, but man, that feels really projection wise, it's laughable. It's ridiculous.
Right.
I'm really struggling with this one. Maybe the answer is to play Jordan Lyles and then just sort of see where you're at as the games go on. I mean, it's not Jordan Lyles, Trey Lyles, excuse me.
Okoro, Herter, Allen. Yeah, I really want to have it. I mean, I really want to play Embiid, so I'm gonna just figure out how to do that. I think.
Yeah. I hate that I don't have a little bit more Brooklyn, but it's just sort of the way things shook out for me. Can I get to something else? Grant Williams, they've been fading his minutes, but he could play a lot in this particular game. Depends on the way the game's going, I guess. Herder, Fox, Clay. Boy, if Jalen Johnson gets there and I don't get him, I'm going to kind of be pissed off at myself.
Jalen Johnson?
Just because I need I think the right answer is just play Trey Lyles. If you need that 4K guy, but I keep ending up with my builds ending up in that same range. And it's interesting that no one's really playing much of these guys because, there's a path. There's a Trey Lyles path if you get the foul trouble from Sabonis, which we've seen plenty of times before. And I have 3 Sacramento guys in my first build, which was not exactly what I planned.
Who do you like anybody more than Horford at that exact price, that exact position? Like forward 5,700. Do you like anybody better at forward 5,700?
I think that I like
a little cheaper, 56, 55.
Herder maybe.
Yeah, if I have him already. Oh, actually, I don't in this lineup. Ooh.
I think those two are close.
So here's
I'm gonna buy time outside of the 2 guys who I'm using. I'm literally picking Clay straight up against Dinwiddie, which just feels like everybody would say it was the wrong thing, but I'm just going to go for the upside and hope Clay shoots himself into a monster. I really had a good feeling about him tonight. And I like the idea of having 4 pieces of that game.
So here's a question. Would you rather see the thing about moving Horford to Herder is that then I get Herder and Monk in the same lineup.
Yeah, then I wouldn't do it. I don't even think it's not that much better of a play, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Let me just see. Is there any other forward that's around that price that I would like better than Horford? Ooh, I got one. I don't know if I like him more, but he's definitely possible. You could do either John Collins or the aforementioned Bogdan Bogdanovic.
Yeah, absolutely. No, those are completely viable plays, by the way. That's exactly, it's funny. That's exactly what I was doing to get that in one of my lineups, to have just a straight Bogdanovic pivot off of Herder, because I already have 2 Kings.
Dude, that's done. That is done. Leaving 400 on the table. Let's go. I'm in.
Yeah, and if you want to play a blowout angle, maybe considering some Sam Hauser in your lineups is a good idea. Like, that's an interesting play that could smash a Coro. You know what I mean?
But who do we like more for real? Like Bogdanovic or Collins?
So the problem is Collins has been losing his minutes somewhat to Jalen Johnson, somewhat to Okongwu. So I think Collins is the better play for. I think more often Collins puts up like 20 to 5 fantasy points, but Bogdanovic is probably a higher ceiling. Both of them going to be super low. I think I would go Bogdanovic personally.
That's what I'm doing. That's exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah. I do think it's close, though. I think that's a really tough call.
That is what I'm doing. Dude, I'm psyched.
Oh, God. Cam Davis is just, oh my God. F him. Sorry, Sheets. What were we saying?
Oh, no, I'm in. I'm in.
Love it. All right.
Oh, wow. Check this out. Hey, how do you like these apples?
What's going on?
Not only did I check this out, not only did I get second in that in the GPP there, the MME, but I got 4th in the big buy-in for 1,000.
What's that?
In the soccer. I didn't even realize this.
Oh, beautiful.
This is sweet. And I also noticed I really hope I don't have to.
What's that?
Hang on one second. Just because you mentioned Cam Davis, I pulled up my golf lineups.
Yeah.
And I really hope this is not an actual. I have like 2 of them in like the top 60. But let me just see what this is. Let's see if it's actually worth. All right, so this is, I don't know if this is the PMR here, but probably not. So this is the top 60, the one I have. I have Bradley and Schauffele tied, Brandon Todd, but this says 174. All these guys are like millions of miles ahead of me. Okay.
Right.
Okay, that's all right. So I don't have to worry about it. Bradley is T2. How about that? Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
but he finished already. Okay, he finished.
And they're all just shooting lights out today.
And can't let Schauffele's going to end up like.
Yeah, it's going to be
like it's 15 by the end of today for sure.
It'll be the teens, today.
Yeah.
So basically, I ended up with 2 game stacks for different reasons in my baseball. Just wanted to throw that out there. Ended up with the Cincinnati, Philadelphia, and what?
Oh, nothing. Something just came up. I got to deal with.
Okay.
No, they didn't ring the bell at all. They
Myers.
didn't ring the bell. I'm just telling you.
Sure? They didn't ring the bell, you didn't hear it?
Go check. No, I didn't hear anything.
And then,
let me just see. Yeah, I might have to get out of here.
okay, we can go whenever.
Yeah. Dude, I hope people bought this thing. Actually I put the soccer thing on the State Kings. Let's see.
I think I bought it, some of it.
The soccer?
I throw I do my normal 22 with you.
Nice. Okay.
So maybe I got some of it. Nice.
We'll see.
Well,
I'm sure it wasn't sold out, freaking soccer.
Right. It's hard to, those are the ones that don't really, huh?
Truck is parked here, there's nobody in it.
Oh, what are they looking at? Wouldn't that be cool if they snuck downstairs?
What?
Wouldn't that be cool if they actually snuck downstairs?
No, that would happen.
Okay, Stevens.
It's raining out. I gotta pick up Ashley at 1:30. If you don't go rain, you forget. I have to go to the bathroom.
Okay.
I keep ending up with exactly enough for Plesac, and that's really putting me in a bad mood.
What the hell happened? Hold on a minute. You know what? I mean, they're going to be really pissed off, and it's not my fault. Okay, I did it. So here's my.
They won't be pissed off, Sheets. They can't.
No. It's ridiculous because this is like the 80th time this happened. I look at this. So I posted these things on here, and like 0 bought, and it just like closed like the second I put it up somehow.
Oh, because it wasn't, the time wasn't put right.
I guess. But I thought I did it right.
That sucks.
Yeah.
That's BS.
Well,
that's true.
Whatever. Anyway.
Walls.
So Brandon, if you're here, real quick. If you're here real quick, Brandon. Like this is what my sheets look like for Xfinity. You're heading out already? Okay, no problem. So I was getting. Oh, that was the trucks. Sorry. Yeah, hold on. Let me pull up my Xfinity, and then I'll just show you what I had. So I had like Custer as like clearly like the best play, and also clearly like the highest owned. I'm just trying to find again like lower owned dudes, and I'm like kind of the worst. I didn't have a chance to look at the Xfinity stuff. I looked at your truck stuff yesterday, but I didn't get a chance to look at the Xfinity stuff. So the natural thing that I would do is try to play whatever kind of lower owned things I would find. So maybe Algiers at 20%, or maybe these 3 dudes here. By the way, yesterday, I don't know what could have happened if they finished the race, but I actually had what's his name? I forced in like 30% of Corey Haim. But the rest, I had Chastain too, so that was the end of that. So Sam Mayer, Herbst, and Creed, like all these guys that are kind of like lower owned, I'm probably just going to make sure to just kind of grab. And then I just see these kind of like these like sub 10% guys, like, I don't know, like Gray Galding or something like that. I haven't really built yet. But that's listen. I don't have any actual takes on the race, obviously. But this is what like the sheets like kind of look like, and you didn't get any real bargains up here. You know. You think it's a tricky slate? Yeah, unfortunately, I have to run, so we can't really like get into it. But for those of you that want to hear about the Xfinity stuff, I mean, I'm sure that either Brandon went live or he's going live later about this. Just find him on his YouTube channel, and I'm sure he must have done a video as well. In any case, I do have to run.
Take it easy, man. I'll shut it down in a minute.
All right. Good luck, everybody.
All right. Good luck, everybody. You can shut yours down. You can shut yours down. Good luck, guys. I'll be here. Can you guys hear me? Yeah. All right. So I'm trying to figure out where's my last pitcher. I'm pretty much done with this slate. I don't think it's the kind of slate where I need to use a guy against even a cheap hitter, but it's kind of putting me in a weird spot. Do I want to take a shot with Braxton Garrett? I don't know that I do. I'm kind of interested in that. What about if I just do the Kopech thing? F the projections, F everything. Yes, let's play Kopech and leave some money on the table. How about that? That seems to make a lot of sense to me. Let's do that. Kopech. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Good luck to everybody. Appreciate all you guys hanging in there. Fun day, big day. I don't think I'll be around tomorrow, but hopefully we got Goldie and either Goldie or Rody to cover it for you. We'll post my thoughts. If you guys have any questions, hit me up in Discord and let's make some money.